Every little kid has a favorite hero. Mine growing up was Wonder Woman. She was strong, independent, and brave. She was everything a little girl wanted to grow up to be. But I knew she was fictional, and I would never be a hero. End of my junior year, I sat in my counselor's office signing up for classes. My school had this really unique program where we could take a class our senior year, and with successful completion of the course and a state test, we would be New York State certified emergency medical technicians. My counselor tried talking me into it. She told me it'd be a great way to prepare myself for pharmacy school, but I refused to take it. I explained that I'd pass out at the sight of blood. I'd never be able to take it. Despite me begging her not to sign me up, on my first day of my senior year, I walked in, and on my schedule, sure enough, was 4th period EMT. I was so mad, but for some reason I didn't drop the class. It was probably because of my teacher, Mr. Zemrak. I don't know if anyone has heard of the Buffalo Bills player Kevin Everett, who was temporarily paralyzed during a game from a bad hit to the head, but my teacher was the paramedic who saved him and his ability to walk. That's him right there. He was a great teacher, probably one of the best. He cared so much about all of us and really made class fun. We splintered each other, put each other on back braces, and even used the jaws of life to tear apart cars. And best of all, I overcame my fear of blood. A few weeks after graduation, I was officially a New York State certified EMT. It was all really cool and fun, but class wasn't really like being out in the field. The small suburb I'm from only has volunteer fire companies. I joined one as an EMT, and just like any other day, I drove to the Armor Volunteer Fire Company. Except, it wasn't just any other day.
A major crash caused backups for commuters on their way out the door this morning. We brought you this story first on Wake Up. A chain reaction crash involving multiple vehicles closed down part of the Skyway beyond Furman Boulevard for about an hour. Police say as many as 6 cars were involved in this crash. Injuries were reported, but there is no word on how many or how severe. The roads are back open now and traffic is back to normal.
Skyway is about 15 minutes from the fire company. It's between my town and downtown Buffalo. We hopped in the ambulance and drove off. When we got there, it was terrible. 6 cars all smashed to bits. There were about 10 patients. Some patients seemed to be unscathed and hardly a scratch on them. Others were not so lucky. Due to the amount of patients and the lack of EMS personnel, we were required to triage our patients. By New York State protocol, if a patient is under cardiac arrest, they are considered clinically dead and are to be treated last in a triage situation. There was a young boy in cardiac arrest. I knew how to save someone in cardiac arrest. I knew I could help him. He was so young. But I also knew protocol, and I saw other patients in risk of dying, and I knew I couldn't help him. It was the worst thing in the world. I saw a teenage girl being unattended to. I rushed to her to help her. In the accident, she had split open her chin and was bleeding profusely. She was losing blood so fast, I knew if I didn't help her, she'd soon go into cardiac arrest too. I treated for shock and stopped most of the bleeding. I carted her into the ambulance and took her to the hospital with my crew. While the paramedic took over care of her, I stood by her, telling her it was okay. She was going to be okay. I saw this girl, not much younger than me, unable to help herself. She had tears in her eyes, and I had saved her. I looked at her, only thinking about that little boy, who never had the chance. I thought about her parents and how worried they probably were. And I thought about myself too. Although I was unable to save everyone, I had saved her. That felt amazing. I was her hero. I was a hero. I might not have gotten the praise Wonder Woman did in the comic books, but I myself was just like her. I was Wonder Woman. It was the greatest feeling ever. It made me appreciate life so much more, and it made me appreciate all those EMTs everywhere doing this, risking their lives to save someone else's, most for no pay at all. So now every time I see EMS personnel like myself, I thank them. They are everyday heroes, and you never know when they will be saving your life.